I'm Rochelle Wilhite. I'm the designated broker and owner of Best Choice. I see a few familiar faces and a few new ones, so welcome if you're just joining us for the first time. Monday nights, we get an opportunity to showcase the hottest topic, and so I brought in our business development manager, Virginia Everard. We are going to be talking about um, a topic which is listings are being lost every week. In fact, I've signed more cancellations than I have. I don't know. It's like between the pandemic and now, I would say. So we want to keep your clients safe. We want to keep them with you and give you some tips and tricks, obviously, like we do every Monday, to improve your business. So I'm going to turn it over to Virginia, but before we do, we'll give you a couple things if you can keep it. There's about 20 slides tonight, so there's some good stuff. I will role play with her, so you'll get to hear Virginia in action, and get some good ideas on how you can adjust maybe some of the things you maybe didn't do in the past to prevent some loss from happening in the future. I don't think, I think agents that have not jumped on tonight, I know some of them are dealing with some water and some clients and obviously evacuation, just having their world turned upside down. But what I can tell you is this is probably the most important topic that we've talked about in about 5 or 6 months, because there's an opportunity for us to look at where agents aren't spending their time, and then focus on that area and then create some sort of plans and actions are related around how we can get after it. Both Virginia and I are coached professionally. We have a professional coach that's been licensed doing real estate for, shoot, I think 40 years. So we are very fortunate to have him as a resource. And he has looked at our business plan, personally, my business plan, Virginia's business plan, and has given us some focus items to consider. So I'm going to turn it right over to Virginia, unless I missed something, Virginia, of what we're
I
going to
think you
cover.
got it all.
Okay.
So we're going to be covering why canceling listings is riskier right now, the correct Washington compliant process. So these are really like the how-to, like what you can do to protect you and your client, but also to make sure that you're communicating with your client all along the way, and how to ethically win expired and cancel listings. I mean, there's a whole group of people out there that do it maybe not the right way. I'm going to show you, hopefully mirror for you the best way I have found to do it. We're seeing it happening more and more. Rochelle's already said she is signing off on canceled listings left and right now. And it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It means it's an opportunity to really lean into our business and really have great conversations with our clients. When you change the status on your listing to active to canceled, it's an exposure issue. Every real estate agent who's calling expireds will start calling them. So the risk isn't canceling, but the risk isn't canceling the listing. The risk is canceling it incorrectly. And you're probably asking me, well, Virginia, what else can I do? I cancel a listing and keep my fingers crossed that, oops, they will relist with me. So let's talk about this. This is kind of like, this is a really cool thing to do. Is it in any kind of textbook? Maybe, maybe not. But let's talk about it.
It's like a strategy, right? We're going to kind of talk. I
It's
mean,
a
this is,
strategy.
yeah.
All about strategy, guys. We're here to win the war, not, you know, we're not here to lose. So expired listings. Now hold on to your caps because my brain blew up when I saw this and I pulled these numbers myself. Expired listings are up 49% year over year. This is from November. This is compared from November 2024 to November of 2025. In November of 2024, we had 639 expired listings. November of 2025, we had 952 expired listings. Canceled listings, and I have a cold, so things may sound a little wonky.
Mhm.
We had 1,060 in 2024. We have 1,432 in 2025. And that number is not going down, guys. And this I pulled straight from our MLS.
I would say the Spokane MLS and Idaho MLS, it's the same numbers.
It mirrored it.
So yeah, I mean exactly. When I pulled it for North Idaho specifically, and also for Spokane, we are
So
seeing very
interesting that you
similar.
say that, Rochelle, because I originally saw these numbers on a national, like report from NAR, and I thought, well,
Mhm.
that can't be us. Like, we're better than that. But I had to change my mindset. It's not about being better, it's about being more strategic, and that's why we're having this conversation tonight.
Okay.
Next. More listings are failing to sell. I mean, I was looking because I have, like every one of you, I have 5 listings right now, and I will say 4 of them are condos. Ugh. And then the other 2 are also very unique properties. And so I was looking at like the numbers and stuff, and it's not unusual right now to see properties on the market for 100 days or more. That's not a bad thing. That is reality. When I started real estate in Oregon, in Roseburg, it was normal to have a property on the market 100, 130 days. And I forgot how normal that is because we've been in a different market lately. So more listings are failing to sell, more sellers are proactively pulling their listings, and every cancel or expiration creates vulnerability. This is a process moment, not a loyalty issue. So they're sitting there going, my home isn't selling, we're going in the holidays. We've gone from a few big rivers in Washington state to having multiple rivers and flash flood warnings. It's crazy right now. So what am I doing with my home on the market? It's not selling. What am I going to do? So how do we help them? I would argue to say it's better to call them and be upfront about it. Next. They're not quitting, they're just repositioning. Every canceled listing is a target. Competitors are monitor canceled and expired listings. I'm one of those people, guys. CRMs and dialers trigger immediately. Sellers get contacted fast. MLS status is not loyalty, it controls exposure. The moment it says canceled or expired, you're on a list and there's nothing I can do about it. Even if your number is not on the listing, a really savvy agent like myself is going to go to different sources to find that phone number. So let's talk about how we can make it better for ourselves and our clients. So Washington, the one rule, never cancel without securing the next step. So I'm going to give you a real life example. I called my condo in that's in Cap Hill today, and we had a conversation. And I said, okay, we are going into the holidays. There's weather issues. We've not had a showing in 2 months. Condos are sitting on the market 20 to 40% longer than they were a year ago, same time. So let's talk through the next steps. So let's take it off the market for 60 days. So we get start over our counter. Let's um, not set a list date, but put to be decided. So let's go ahead and sign a new listing agreement. Then cancel the current listing, finalize pricing and relaunching time. So everything was done in that one conversation. So it wasn't like, well, we'll cancel and we'll look at it in the spring. We had a very clear timeline. And then I was 60. She's like, let's do 65, Virginia. I feel a little bit better about that. I'm like, 65 is perfect with me. We cancel today. It'll show cancel tomorrow, but I already have a signed listing agreement. Now it does say TBD. Is that a legal binding contract? No. But does it create a connection between her and I and a commitment? Yes. Is there any questions on that? That's kind of crazy. But it does set
I have a
yourself
question,
up for
Virginia.
success.
I had a guy come over from another company who did the same
Yep.
strategy. I won't name the company. Some of you used to work for this company. But anyway, they came over and they did the strategy and they were really frustrated. They came into the office. I just recruited them about a week or two ago. And they're like, this other agent and went in and got the listing. And they came in with their paperwork to show me what they had done. And there was nothing
Hmm.
I could do. And when it says
Nope.
TBD, it has to be filled in. So that listing date cannot be TBD. But what I did say was it's actually not a bad thing to strategize and have communication. And what Virginia is suggesting here is just to have a good communication, planning, timing, that type of thing with your client so you stay connected, so
A
that they're
clear
loyal.
line of the next step, right? So, for example, when I was having that conversation with my real life client today, I was like, you are going to get multiple phone calls.
Yes.
And she goes, okay. And I said, and I apologize about it. There's not a lot I can do about it. but here's our next step. This is what we're looking forward to. This is our plan. She goes, oh, and Kevin's going to want to sell his condo in the spring too. So this is great. And so it's having that communication. Clients don't like not to know the next steps. They need to know what you're doing, what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like, and what to expect. So
Yeah,
don't lie to them. Don't hold out that people are going to be calling them. Of course they are. I would. So just be clear. This one detail protects you. No gap in representation. There's no gap in communication of relationship. If it comes down to the nitty-gritty, it can be an issue. But again, it's up to you to have that communication open with your client and make sure up until this point, you've always been sending the don't fire me emails. I send those all the time, even when I don't want to. You're communicating what's going on with the market. You are always letting them know what you're doing with the next step. This condo has over 1 million hits online right now. 1 million hits. And she can see that. I've reported that to her. That means that we're not doing something wrong. The market's just not responding right now. And that's important. So preserve future MLS and homes.com boost and make sure um, you give your sellers breathing room, right? I know that sounds scary. You're like, oh my God, if I let them go, they could go somewhere else. Yes. But guys, they could have gone somewhere else anyways. Why not control the narrative? Would you agree, Michelle?
totally. Yep.
Cool.
I think it's just keeping that open dialogue every week at a minimum with the listing. Well, I mean, I worked in a marketplace, Virginia, where there was everything was short sales, everything was distressed. I mean, if you guys feel like you're in a distressed market or approaching one or a buyer's market, I certainly worked in one. And one thing that works so well is even if there's nothing to report, every week you should be sending what Virginia calls the "Don't Fire Me" letter. If you need to have a copy of that letter, I'm sure she'd be happy to send it to you.
Be happy to send it.
Yep. And we probably need to put it on our website so that you can actually download it
Yeah.
because more agents are using that as a way to stay connected with their clients. And it gives them some breathing room by doing a strategy like this and keeping that strategy. I think even back in the 90s, Virginia, I mean, if we go back in time when I was not even licensed, I remember that Windermere agent, she came to my house because, I mean, things were taking about the same amount of time back in the 90s. And she had sat down with me with a calendar, kind of like what we have right now. And she just mapped out that after, 60 days, 90 days, we'd have kind of a meeting to go over the strategy. She already pre-built that into her calendar. So in your case, the condo, what conversation you had today was exactly what she did in the 90s to keep that conversation open and getting in the next steps. Like, what are we going to do now, when it doesn't sell?
I
So
think the worst thing agents can do, Rochelle, is to ignore this,
I
right?
know, dig their head in the
It
sand. They don't want to do anything, thinking it's going to get
it
better.
because it's frightening. We don't want to feel like we're letting our clients down. And it can be very intimidating to call them and say, listen, it's not working right now. But instead of presenting a problem, present a solution. And
Mhm.
that's all this is about is presenting a solution in a timeline. Because we all know after 60
They'll
days, you
respect you,
get
I think, too, Virginia. I think that sellers will respect you for doing everything I mean, if you've done everything you possibly can, you've done the open house, you've done the price adjustments, you've done um, you've done all the things, the weekly follow-up, and it's still not selling, then you just have to own it. Sometimes what we call stepping into the punch and just saying, I've done everything I can. They will respect you more. That's kind of been the surprising thing. I've been like, oh, I'm so nervous to have this call with the seller. And what I can tell you, Virginia, is I feel so good when it's done, it's over. Because they always say, at least you were giving it to me real. At least, I have a plan moving forward. Um, and I've got one that will probably go on the market in February that I did the same thing. I just had basically we lost two buyers. We started in the spring and I thought it was going to go through and the buyer flaked. He didn't have a social security card. And the lender didn't catch it till the day of. So I mean stuff like that happens in the transaction and you can lose momentum and you can lose marketing and just the marketplace itself can change things on you. So you do have to Look at all of the pieces of the equation, then make some decisions and guide your clients through that next step, even
The
if it
most
means
important thing is to be
canceling.
transparent.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So how are we
seller
going to do
friendly
this?
script, how to explain to your seller. And we've kind of gone over this already. This allows us to pause safely without opening the door to other agents. Now, really, it's not as safe. I will say this allows us to have a conversation and come up with a plan. And so when other agents call you, you can say, thank you, I'm good.
Okay. So we want to role play this and let's see what you, so I'm going
Sure,
to be
go
your
ahead,
client,
Michelle.
Virginia. So you're going to call me. I've been on the market. I'm your condo seller. I know we kind of
Okay,
already talked about that. So that the agents on the call can hear how you do this.
for
Let's
sure.
actually let's play. I like
I
playing.
love
Let's do
playing.
it. So thanks, Virginia, for taking the time to explain things to me today. What do you
Yeah,
think we should do?
Rochelle, this is, I'm kind of excited about this, to be honest. What we're going to do is as we've spoken, we're going to take it off the market for 65 days, the condo. You have a
Hmm.
renter in there right now, correct, Rochelle? I
Yeah,
remember that.
I do. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And so what this will do is at day 60, we actually will be able to reset the counter of the days on market, which is amazing. We
Okay.
still have our video out there, so although we can't advertise our listing anymore, it is still out there being viewed. People are watching it as a lifestyle video, and so we're still getting exposure, although we're not actively marketing the property.
Okay.
So that is really awesome. The other thing, Rochelle, is I just want to point out is although we've signed a new agreement, we're signing a new agreement, it says TPD, we will still have agents reaching out to you. And I wish
Okay.
I could stop that, but I can't.
Okay. Am I
So,
going to be flooded with my phone? I thought we took my phone number off the listing.
Rochelle, we did, but there's agents out there that are very crafty. And once your phone number is out in the world, the ether, as we call it, anybody can almost get your phone number. So if you feel more comfortable about it and they call you, you can say, you can give my agent Virginia a call. She'll be happy to let you know when we're coming back on the market and give you a private showing then. How's
Okay.
that sound?
That sounds good.
Awesome. And then so we're going to relaunch in 65 days. We'll move the pictures around. We talked about doing a minor price adjustment and also adding back a buyer's compensation, which we've talked about. And I think the
Hmm.
way the market's positioned right now, I think it is something we do need to do. How
Okay.
does that make you feel?
Well, I want to run it past my husband just to make sure he's okay with that net
Hmm.
because when we were kind of tight on our numbers. I mean, you just sold the
Yeah.
condo to us back in like 2022. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure that we're at least clearing, what we need to clear.
I totally appreciate that, Rochelle. And if I don't know if you remember, and I can resend it to you, I did send you an original net sheet with you paying a buyer compensation. So I
Oh,
had
okay.
factored that in case of an emergency.
Okay, but if we lower the price at when we go in 65 days, will that
We're not, yeah, we're going to lower it maybe just a little bit just to trigger some more eyes, even though
okay.
it's going to show up as a new listing. But I don't recommend us going more than a couple $1,000s. But
Okay.
please definitely do talk to your husband.
Yeah, no, I'll talk with him and if we're feeling differently about that, we'll let you know.
Just let me know. Really,
Okay.
it's not, this is, we're creating a game plan so when we come back on the market, we come swinging and we're not playing defense.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah, because I know that you and Kevin want to buy that next house and start your family. This is an exciting time
Yeah,
for
and
you
it's just
guys.
like moving money around right now. You know what I mean? We've got
I
the
know.
investment with the condo, and it's really unfortunate that the market did what it did in in August when we went on the market. So
Yeah, I threw away my crystal ball. It was already foggy, as I mentioned to you, and now I'm just convinced it's broken. So we have a
okay.
new plan though, and I'm really excited about it. So what I'm going to do next steps for you, Rochelle, is I'm going to put this all in an email, and then my transaction coordinator is going to reach out with the documents you need to sign. At any time if you have questions, please just let me know.
Okay, will do. Thank you so much.
Sound good?
Yep. So what do you guys think? If you want to put some comments in the chat, I mean, does that help you in hearing what Virginia says? I know it's always it's always easier to hear somebody else do it when it's yourself, and stylistically there will be different variations of that, but I liked what she did to, frame it in a way where I'm going to follow up with an email. There's some things that will need to be signed. She talked about next steps, all of the things we talked about in the slides prior. Virginia illustrated very well for you how that's done. Um, okay, let's go to the next slide.
Okay, so just real quickly, because I want to be respectful of everybody's time, is Form 19. You want to make sure that you get that filled out. And I want you guys to also send the 1A again. It is not you're not, you have to redo a 1A. So please do that and send it with the 19. So they cancel, they sign the 1A. I know it says TBD, not an official agreement, but it still is again a step. And then you will update the MLS status and there's no showings while it's inactive. So you can't go out and actually go and market it still. But one of the things my client and I spoke about was when just before we're going to go back on the market, or just when we go back on the market, actually, because we do need to be on the market, is I'm going to call through the list of people in the reverse prospecting that had 8 clients who were interested, and I'm going to write up an offer, and I'm going to offer a reverse offer as we're going back on the market at the same time. Because why not?
And if you're having questions,
Michelle's
like I'm
thinking.
sure people are asking, what's a reverse offer? We've never seen that, Virginia. Maybe explain what that is.
So a reverse offer is when you as the listing agent and the seller write an offer. Your seller fills it, you fill it in for the offer that they're going to want. They sign it and you present it to the buyer's agent. And you say you have 24 hours to accept it at X price, and maybe still doing the price adjustment on the front end, you give them a little bit of a sweet deal on the back end and say you have 24 hours to make a decision. It's a way to kind of get things moving. And I'm sure if you all look at your reverse prospecting list, people are still getting properties and they're still favoriting them. They're just not acting right now.
Right. And it takes that little extra nudge. So it's a way to prompt another discussion with the seller and the
Yeah.
buyer.
It's all about timing though, guys. So don't get tripped up on this. Just be very consistent and very clean on your timeline. And so a lot of this is happening simultaneously, but it's like this is baiting the hook with caviar and not some worm you bought at Walmart. This is caviar. We got to do it with caviar. Rochelle's like, I don't recall you mentioning caviar before, Virginia. So you don't want to lose the listings by canceling them. You lose them by canceling incorrectly and not having conversations. May I
And
ask you, Rochelle, do you know how
Virginia,
many of
we could cancel anything for any time. If Tiana was like, I don't want to work with the seller anymore, I could cancel it.
yeah,
When I cancel it, it's free game. There's not, if we cancel it, if the designated broker cancels it, there's no way for you to collect a commission. That's why it's important to know your forms and know what it does when you sign something.
yeah. Next, please, so we can get to my favorite part.
Okay.
So, anyways, when I was a new agent and have always done, is I am an expired and canceled listing person. I actually love going after canceled and expired. So when I tell you do yourself a favor and set yourself up for success, is because I'm the agent who's there finding the phone number, knocking on the door, going after your expired and canceled listing. Nobody in Best Choice. I do not go after your listings. You're my family. Other agencies. But so with this shift comes more expired listings, more canceled listings, and sellers still want solutions because not all agents are like us and they're not walking their clients through this. So opportunity favors preparation. Let's be prepared for it.
If you know it's coming, I mean, that's what's in our future for next year. There will be more. This is only the
Oh, it's
this is only
already
the start
there.
of it. Yeah.
It's already there. Oh, so why are they expired and canceled? Is they're overpriced, not unrealistic, underserved, not unreasonable, confused, not resistant, and they still want to sell, guys. And I'm not talking, this is why we had the first part first, is if you have this conversation like Rochelle and I mirrored in advance, you are going to set yourself apart from the rest of the agents. We have 32,000 agents in our MLS, and most of them are not taking the time to go through this. So that's an opportunity for you if 49% of all listings are being canceled or expired right now. That people still want to sell. They still have their why in front of them. They just don't know how to get there. So how can we do that? Sellers are tired of generic strips. Please do not call them and tell them, if you list with me, I can do something better. Do not do big promises. Blaming the last agent has never worked. And in fact, it makes you look a little sleazy, in my opinion. And
Yep.
talking instead of listening is a big taboo. I was listening to a podcast last week, and I listen to a lot of things, guys, and partly because I drive a lot, so I'm in the car a lot. And I want you guys to listen to me and listen very carefully. Connection rather than transaction. Listen rather than sell. Curiosity rather than need. None of that is over speaking across, that's talking over somebody or telling them you're better than the next person. Find out, come from curiosity. Tell me about it. Tell me about what didn't work. Tell me about your experience. It may have been a great experience. And then you can say, that's amazing. I'm so excited to see this property come back on so I can show it to some buyers. If it was a bad experience, let them talk. Rochelle had a situation where she did the same thing. She said, "Tell me about your experience." 2 hours later, a long conversation, but she had a pretty good picture of what didn't work and did work in this situation, right? Just by asking one question.
I love the tell me phrase. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of agents that we work with, a lot of new agents, Virginia, they're a little timid to ask
Mhm,
questions, because then
mhm.
they're afraid that it's going to be this long, long speech, or they're going to get the no, or they're going to get the rejection. I think by keeping it very open, just like I love the phrase, tell me.
Tell me.
Tell me is like the magical phrase back in my second or third year in real estate. My coach made me put tell me dot 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 like on post-it notes all over my screen just so I could be comfortable and just asking, like just keeping it open. And it's not even a scary thing to say, tell me about that. People love to talk to you, and then you just have to listen. That is the thing, right? Where I think real estate agents, they don't like to listen.
It's
So
so funny you said that, Rochelle, because on the post-it for tonight's notes for myself, I have, tell me about your experience. And then underneath it, shut up and listen.
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So.
I 100% agree.
Sellers respond to calm professional approach, market explanations, not excuses. They want to know, it's reasonable to them to understand there's more um, homes on the market than there were last year. So more opportunities for buyers to make decisions. I'm going to put a cautionary tale out there. We don't have it on the slides. Please stop talking about rates. Talk about your clients' why. Why is it still important to you to want to sell? What would selling your home mean to you and your family going forward? Ask questions like that. Please stop talking about the rates. We can wait till the end of the earth for rates, and we're still going to have this conversation. So knock it off. Just that's my PSA for the day. So, clear pricing strategy, be very clear, visual and data support and reset plan, not a redo, a reset.
I like that word reset too. I've used that before. It's just the language you're using when you have a conversation with a seller. And it's usually not a pleasant conversation because you're going to have to do something, right? It's going to have to be stepping into it didn't sell. it's not going to sell in but you need to kind of have a reset. I like that. We need to, strategize. We need to reset. We're not redoing because that means we didn't do something right to begin with. That word is not a good word. You almost need to take it off of the screen and remove it from your vocabulary because a reset is just what it takes sometimes to get more eyeballs on the property or to
And
get to
trust me,
to make to make it to the next step of moving to a new property. A reset is really what's needed.
and you don't, and when you do a redo too, you're blame placing. And when
Hmm.
it happens, if it doesn't sell any faster when you list it, you've already set them up to place blame.
Yeah, I tried this reset idea, Virginia, on a buyer. A buyer actually wanted to cancel their buyer service agreement with us. And our agent happens to be out of town and dealing with some personal things in her life right now. And I just listened, but I had the calm professional approach. Um, I made sure on the buyer side, we had to make sure that, he's got a pre-approval letter, and she'd done a great job of getting him connected with the lender, a pre-approval first-time home buyer. We used some data. I talked about the contract. That's how I kept him focused. And I said, would you be open to a reset with the agent and working directly with me? And he's like, absolutely. Do I have to sign something for that? I was like, oh my gosh, it worked even for a buyer, Virginia. Fell right into my lap. So, I mean, this stuff works if you follow what Virginia is suggesting here. It's a clear
Reset, are
roadmap.
you open to, and tell me.
Yep. And tell me
That's,
what's not working for you. I think is how we started that calm
yeah.
professional approach. Just tell me a little bit about your home search and how this person is working. And he got didn't get a response. I texted her. I mean, you let him just vent it all out, and then you just, I'm sorry you feel that way. Let's discuss something more, and then that's how you are able to take somebody from being highly stressed out to being calm and looking at how do we reset, how do we move forward. Those are the kind of words that we use.
Yep. Tell me, reset, and are you open? Your first contact should be acknowledge frustration, ask permission, learn what didn't work, share one useful insight, and then book a follow-up. And honestly, guys, the goal is not the listing. The goal is to create a connection and to listen. Of course, at the end of the day, we want the listing, but I promise you, everybody's getting enough sales calls. Everybody's getting calls from everybody saying, we can do this better. You want to sign up, da 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 da. Very few people are asking them, tell me more, and listening. Because if you do these things, you're gonna be golden. You
Yeah,
can
I
go.
think that the important thing on this list is I'm going to make some calls. I mean, these guys don't know that you've got a homework assignment, but I'm going
I
to take the
do.
challenge and
I do.
make some contact as well because the opportunity is right there for you guys. It would be sad for us not to at least take a few minutes out of our day and make some phone calls or make some contacts. Because the most important thing I think on her list here that I've got to remind myself, I tend to have so much knowledge and you guys might have as well, that you don't have to share very much. You just need to focus on that one useful thing that can change things around for them. For example, like I'm really passionate about videography right now. So, I mean, that might be one useful insight that will set me apart from all the rest. That I'm happy to, give you some input on the videography that we do at Best Choice Realty. So that might be my one useful insight. I can show different types of graphs and different things to show how much of an impact that has on the particular listing and then follow up. So I think that was my biggest takeaway when I saw the slide, Virginia, that you're covering this. I mean, was there something else that is most important? I mean, it's a prescription. One, two, three,
It's a
four, five.
prescription. You go to the doctor and you have a cold or a flu or something, and they give you the things to do. That's all we're doing. We're listening and we're giving a prescription of how to fix it.
So the only
No,
thing that could happen, I mean, I think people always come at making calls or calling, expires or cancels from like, ooh, a little bit of fear. The only thing you have to lose is they hang up on you, right? Or you end up calling somebody that, I'm already listed, just like we talked about at the beginning of the call. They're already very, very tied to their agent that they work with before. You have really nothing to lose, though. I mean,
Be respectful.
yeah, and just say, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and then hang
Yep.
up. But
Yep.
I think people are afraid of the rejection, I think, from that comes from expireds or cancels. And I would say you got to overcome that, um, because something caused that situation to happen. And most of
Yep.
the time, has nothing to do with the agent at all. It's the timing. So you can pick up some
Timing.
opportunity.
It's all about timing.
You want to give them one more script? I think we got a
Yep.
couple minutes and we got to wrap.
We have a couple. We're a little over, so I appreciate you guys hanging with us. Um, so this is a script that works really well. It's way better than the ones I used to use way back in the day. Um, hey,
You want
ring
me
ring.
I'll be your person again?
Yep.
Hi, this is Rochelle.
Hey, Rochelle. You weren't expecting my phone call. My name is Virginia. I'm with Best Choice Realty. I saw your
Hi,
home recently. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Hey, I saw your home recently came off the market. I'm not calling to relist it today. I'm just curious what you learned during the process.
Oh, well, we got a lot going on. In fact, I think we just had some water in my basement.
Oh my
So
goodness.
we're just canceling it and just kind of getting a contractor out there to look at it.
This is off, this might not help you, but do you have a list of contractors you could call?
Um, no, I'm kind of like searching I mean, everybody's booked right now with everything going on.
You know, if you're open to it, I could send you a list. I just want to help you. I'm hearing this a lot from people right now, especially with all the water we're getting.
Sure, if you could send me some of your best contacts, that would be great.
Oh, I would be totally love to do that. So it sounds to me, Rochelle, that you guys just got hit on timing. Would that be
Yeah,
fair to say?
yeah, definitely. I mean,
Are
this
you,
with all the water and then the market too. It's just,
yeah.
we just need to take it off and kind of do something next year.
Oh, so you think you still might want to sell?
Yeah, no, we're just temporarily just taking a break for now.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know if this is for you, but would you be open to interviewing another agent just to get another perspective?
Not at this time. I just want to get the work fixed, uh, and get that done
No
during the
problem at all, Rochelle.
holidays.
I'm going to get that list. Yep. I don't blame you for that. I'm going to go ahead and send over a couple of those contacts. Would you be open to me going ahead and following up with you next year? No pressure. Just want to check in, make sure that issue got solved for you with the flooding.
Sure, that'd be fine. Thank you so much for your contacts and your willingness to help us. I
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Have an amazing day.
You too. Bye. So that I like the scripting at the beginning. That really flows well. That's a nice intro. What do you guys think? Give her a thumbs up if you like what she's talking about here, because I like it. It's not pushy. Oh, you got a couple of people that liked it. Just curious what you learned during the process. I liked that. It's a different approach. You don't want to sound like all the other people. So, okay, awesome. Let's give them their homework
Take
and
it home,
stuff.
Rochelle.
Okay, your plan should address basically pricing, presentation and
I,
condition, friction points, things that kind of bottleneck, like that role play we just did was water in the crawl. You're going to hear all kinds of things. Problems with the husband, problems with the family, things have shifted, not sure about the pricing anymore. Relaunching timeline, make sure that you're looking for feedback on expireds. That's what you're looking for, not trying to like pull a fast one. That's not the idea here. Be the advisor, make sure you
nope.
explain the market, you show the data, set the expectations, and protect their equity. I think when you can use words like, I want to protect your equity, that shows the seller that you care. rather than just caring about the price or the commission you're going to make. Using words like that, protecting their equity, is something that I've really tried to insert into my dialogue. And we're not rushing decisions. If they need time, which I clearly gave her an objection, like, no, I'm not. When she asked me if I would be open to having her come and take a look right now, I was like, I just need to deal with my water in my crawl space or my water in my basement. So Virginia didn't rush me. I mean, that was all positioning. She was the advisor. I was interested in seeing what contractor she has, and that might be a determination on whether I go with my past agent that I expired with, or I look at somebody new, somebody that has some more contacts. You always have to verify the listing status. So these are the keep in minds when you are making calls to expireds. If you're getting lists from other sources that are pooling things, just make sure when you make that phone call that they're not currently active on the market. That's a $3,000 fine in the Northwest MLS. I'd hate to have you get that fine just because you didn't verify the status. You cannot solicit another agent's exclusive listing. So be careful on that. That can trip some people up. Respect the existing agreement that they have. So if somebody says, I've already signed a new agreement with somebody, no problem. I don't want to step any toes. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Make sure you exit that conversation quickly if they do say they have signed another agreement with another agent. Maybe it's not on the market yet, but they have signed. So don't continue to push. Don't agent bash and focus on the strategy, not blaming, the other agent for the reason your house didn't sell is because they didn't have a video posted. I would never say that. I
The
would talk
problem is
about
that
some
if it does,
strategic ideas.
yeah, the problem is if it doesn't sell when you have it listed, they're going to go and blame you. And
Yep.
so just don't create that karma in your life. And I think next is our homework.
Yep. And it wouldn't be
Okay,
a
so
it wouldn't be a webinar with Virginia if you didn't get a homework. She teaches a lot
I
of new
always give
agents.
homework. And you know
Yep.
why this is, Rochelle, is because I sat up at the Everett Mastermind this last week, last Wednesday, and I asked people if they were happy with where their business was going to end. And only one person raised their hand as yes.
Wow.
So if you
You have to
guys
do
aren't
something.
happy,
Hmm.
pull the darn expired. So
Yep.
let's your homework is to choose 5 to 10, research, prepare thoughtful outreach, and aim for conversation, not contacts, contracts. And I think if you guys aren't happy with your business today, then this is a good way to start 2026 off amazing. Everything you do today will close in February, so let's not be poor in February.
Yeah, this is the way to do it. And if you're like, ooh, I don't want to be like the sharks that are out there just dialing, when the moment it hits expireds, there's nothing wrong going back in time and isolating that data that you guys get from your local MLS and calling maybe some expireds from the summertime, September or October. It's interesting that there's not as many people calling on those as they do call with the moment it expired. So that's like a pro tip. If you want to ease yourself into making some of these phone calls, call some older ones, maybe a few months old, and that might help. So, okay, I think that was a wrap.
That's a wrap, guys. Sorry
Okay,
for taking so much of your time, but I'm really passionate about this. Super passionate.
so you're going to make some
That,
calls this week, Virginia, and same with me. Even if it's like
yep.
before the holiday, it doesn't matter. They are people that need our help. They need our resources. They need our marketing. They need our advertising, and they definitely need our local resources. So,
And
um,
Rochelle, there's a lot of people that are just they want to talk to somebody
mhm.
and they want to connect. And so maybe you just taking those 5 minutes. I did door knocking this weekend and one lady is like, this has just been a bad year. And I said, I can understand that. She's like, you don't. I'm waiting for information whether my son passed or not. He's in hospice. I spent 20 minutes with her, but she just needed somebody just to listen, and at the end of the day, you have that connection. It may not be a deal today, but it doesn't matter if it's a deal tomorrow. Connecting with people is how you're going to win in 2026.
Great. Thank you so much, Virginia, for your time. I have a lot of comments that said thank you, thank you, thank you. So I appreciate your time and giving us some takeaways and being vulnerable and role playing with me. That was fun. Um, Usually I get to be on the other side, so that was fun to be the client today. Thank you very much and have a good week, you guys. We'll see you next Monday, same time.